problems. The problems overwhelm you, the problems get on top of you. Do you have massive problems that feels like the weight of the world's on your shoulders? Do you want to know how to overcome those problems? Here, let me tell you how. Hi, it's Alan Fater here from Optimum Mind, bringing you more secrets to success and tips for your own personal and professional mastery. So, problems aren't necessarily problems, they're only problems by the way we're representing them. The stuff that's going on out there in the world, it's our interpretation of those events that creates a problem. Because what's the problem for one person, somebody else might say, hey, do you know what, I can deal with it, I can handle it. So how we represent problems in the theatre of our mind gives us a clue to how troublesome they're going to be. And taking control of our mind allows us to do something different so that we can handle things so much more easily and in a more resourceful way out there in the world. I'll give you the example, the contrast, because when people talk about problems, they'll talk about they have massive problems, that everything's getting on top of them, that there's just no room to move, it feels like the weight of the world is on their shoulders, all of this sort of thing. And yet they never talk about tiny problems. So here's the contrast. It sounds normal, doesn't it? I get people come to see me and they'll say, Alan, mate, I've got massive problems. It's like everything's getting on top of me and it's just shocking and I don't know what to do. Now, they've already told me and demonstrated to me what their problems are like and how they're representing those problems. They've told me that they're massive. And in fact, I know exactly how big because they're doing this, because this is how big it is. And I know where they're keeping their problem in the theatre of their mind because it's right here, it's right in front of them, they're showing me. And this sounds normal, doesn't it? But let me show you the contrast, which will really drive the point home. People never ever come to see me and say, hey Alan, do you know what, mate? I've got tiny little problems way off over there in the distance and they're really, really troublesome. You know, these tiny, incy, way little problems and they're really troubling me. People don't do that, do they? So how we represent stuff in our mind gives us an indication of whether they're going to be more significant to us or not. Now, representing good stuff really up close, well, that's fantastic, but representing problems up close, that's going to be troublesome to us. So one key that we need to do is as we notice how we're representing problems, just notice in your mind what that problem's like. And so here's a few key questions. What does it look like? And I'm not talking about the actual events out there in the world. Is it a big round problem? So if you find yourself saying, I've got this massive problem, just kind of imagine, so what's this like? Is it a colour to it? Is there a shape to it? Is it a squishy problem, a hard problem, a heavy problem? And just imagine in your mind, showing it off over there into the distance, or shrinking it down, making it go away. Because what that's going to do is going to reduce the representation in your mind and put it into a distance, and you're going to feel much more resourceful in your own mind and be able to deal with the real world events of that problem. Hey, if you've got any questions about this video and want to know more about solving problems for yourself or for other people, leave a comment below or drop me an email. And remember, put your email address in the box up here to the right and download the free ebook and I'll come and visit you every single week with a new tip or a technique. So use this technique to empower yourselves, empower other people, and hey, let's make the world a much better place to live. Thanks for listening and I'll talk to you again soon.